Thanks for clicking on this video. If you want more content just like this, head over to redmenplus.com and sign up as a club legend or a club captain. You'll get perks such as 20% off all our merch, 2 free pieces of merch every single year, and you'll also be in our Discord and Facebook group so you can talk to other Reds. What more could you really ask for? See you there.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Redmen TV. Good evening, good morning, good night, wherever you are around the world. If you're watching, you have just witnessed Liverpool finally getting a little glimmer of revenge against the Napoli side. Probably the form team of Europe across the whole of the continent at the moment. They are heads and shoulders above most other teams, and they're top of their league as well in Serie A. But it didn't matter tonight. Why? Because Liverpool dispatched them 2-0 in the end at Anfield in match day 6 of the Champions League. You know what time it is. I'm your host, Errol, and I will be taking you through your fan reaction. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. FPL Skills over on YouTube says, well, that was a solid display from the lads against an informed side. Hopefully this will give us an extra edge going into Sunday's encounter. However, Tottenham won't be short of confidence either after their result. Yeah, if you was watching the watch along, we had eyes on the other games as well and the scores and the results that were coming in, and I think it was Tottenham with a late winner. They only needed a point to really get through the game. However, obviously to get through the group stages. However, they was able to go on and get a late winner. So that was 2-1 in the end, and they will have a little bit of confidence themselves. But do you know what? All we could worry about today was Liverpool doing their business and resting a few players. We was able to introduce a few young players as well and get some minutes under the belt for them as well. Nick in the van is welcome as a wonder kid. Nick, let us know some of your thoughts and comments as well, my guy, because you're able to share some of your thoughts now in this particular show. So let us know how you felt the game went. Brian Glow says, we're very happy with that result. Even though we left it late, 2-0 against the best informed team should help the short-term confidence and make the players feel like they've got a point to prove against Spurs. Absolutely. I think this Spurs side aren't probably in the best form of their lives as well. They've probably struggled a little bit over the last couple of weeks, especially in the Prem. So all things that we can kind of work on from our standpoint is making sure that we can kind of capitalise. It's one thing that we fell short time and time again this season, being able to build momentum. We've been able to get good results here and there, but we've not really been able to maintain and sustain that. So Sunday is an important game because there's not that many games left now before the World Cup, and it would be nice to go on, even if it is just a miniature run, it'd be nice to go on that between now and the middle of November. Veronica says, well done the lads. Hopefully that'll give them the confidence for Sunday at Spurs. Everyone's mind's already gone to Spurs. I think that's just because of the low stake nature of this particular game. Everybody's now inclined to feel like that Spurs game is the all-important one. Melanie Young 11 says, would have loved 3 lads on slightly earlier, but very much looking forward to the future with these boys. Yeah, absolutely 100% there. A couple of other comments that I will skip back to in that chat, but let's go over to the Twitter as well. Or before we go over to Twitter, actually, let's look at the Discord group and see what the members are saying. Redmen Plus members. Sparrow says, it was great to see Darwin causing absolute chaos in the opposition's box as usual. That was the type of consistent performance we've been begging for. Yeah, and it was. I think from my perspective, I think the formation suited us a lot more. It seemed like everybody seemed to be on song. They understood the requirements, what was needed, where they needed to be. There was a lot more communication. There was times when I could see James Milner shouting over to Canate to say, you know, you need to cover. Trent's higher up the pitch. You need to be covering, dropping off into the space. He's your man. I think those type of things sometimes go unnoticed, but when we've not been playing particularly well, they're the things you need to double down on. They're the things you really need to be kind of in it for with your teammates. You really do need to be signalling to them and giving them those extra instructions, and James Milner is in that squad. Whatever you think of his actual ability and his fitness and all the rest of it, he, you know, that leadership and that the how vocal he is on the pitch cannot be understated or underrated, really. Josh Hall says, the Reds winning is always the best medicine. Every time I watch Darwin, he makes me more convinced he's going to be boss when it all clicks together. Now a nice draw on Friday, please. The draw, Josh, isn't on Friday. I heard the lads talking in the background before saying that the draw is going to be Monday the 7th of November. So correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, because I'm not 100%, but I think it might be next Monday after the Spurs game. So keep your eye eyes peeled for that, because obviously we know that we finished second in the group now, which means that we will be facing all the winners of the group state of the groups that they was in, aside from all the English teams, is what I was trying to say there before I tripped over my word. Sorry. Quadball23 says, I'll take that. Solid defensive performance, standard 2-0, boring win for the Reds. Shout out to Costas for some outstanding corners. Everyone did their job, like going to Greg's for sausage rolls. Not spectacular but tasty and satisfying. Just don't look too carefully at those ingredients. Yeah, I don't go to Greg's for sausage rolls all that often, but it is what it is. Hibs over on Twitter. We'll take you over to the Twitter comments now and let you know what these guys have been saying. So Hibs, he says, well, that was a good result. Decent battle and performance. Defence looked good for the most part. Thought Jones did well, especially in that first half. Let's just beat Spurs on the weekend. Yeah, I think, like I said, everyone's attention's already turned into that Spurs game. But yeah, I think there was a lot more of a combative approach from us. You know, there was a few silly fouls that we give away, but I like that. I like us not leaving like a bad tackle on someone, but putting your body on the line, getting in there, getting a little bit physical, winning your battles more importantly. I think that was really important to set the tempo for the game as well for us. Love this physical approach of Liverpool play, especially our defenders, Fabinho pulling their midfield. It was so refreshing. Yeah, so I'm not the only one who obviously thought that kind of approach was refreshing from us. I think it had to be seen. That's I'm laid back 9-9, and if for someone who's laid back as the name suggests, to see a Liverpool physical approach, it must have been impressive. Owen Hampshire says, never doubted Nunes. He's always been and will be world class. I don't know if he's always been world class. I think the kid's got a very high ceiling, but week in, week out, I'm just starting to love the guy more and more. He's unconventional. He's chaotic. He's all over the place, but you can't question this kid's desire or his want to be in the mix, his want to be a nuisance for defenders. He's absolutely got that down to a fine art, and if he can build on that in terms of some of his link-up play, bringing other players in, his decision-making at times, and obviously his output in front of goal, I think we've got an absolute world beater on our hands, and long may it continue. Dan says, it's a long season, and performances like that today remind us what this team is capable of. Get to the World Cup with 3 more wins under our belt, and then go for the rest. Let's not let this be another false dawn. Well, that's fingers crossed. That is exactly what I was hoping. There aren't that many games now between now and the World Cup. Let's just try and rack up as many wins as we can before, by hook or crook, whatever formation works. Let's just do it by any means necessary. Get over the line into the World Cup, rest, get players back, and then we've got something to play for now in a new year. Yeah, we are going to be up against it, but in order to be up against it and be facing it, you know, potentially one of Europe's better sides, I should say, it's going to require us to massively improve our levels. We've got plenty of time, almost 4.5 months potentially, before that second leg comes up, and anything can happen between now and then. I expect a completely different Liverpool side at that point in time, one that's flying high on confidence, one that's got a few more new members within the squad, and one that's probably, hopefully, in a lot better form as well. So that's what I'm looking for. Lan Krishia says, look solid for a change. Yes, we did. Benjo says, average for me again in a dead rubber means nothing unless we win our next league game. And you know what? I respect the realism. I really do. Because it was a dead rubber, but we was playing for pride today. This Napoli team have already embarrassed us once this season. We was playing for that not to happen again. So even on a personal level, I think a lot of these lads were probably just wanting to make sure that they won, to just say, do you know what? We can still beat the best of the best. And I know they've done it on a few occasions this season already, but we're not doing it consistently. In order to do it consistently, we've kind of got to beat what's in front of us. And today we had to beat a really good defensive Napoli side that were able to cause us troubles. I don't think they had us under the cosh at any point in time. I don't think we struggled for periods. I think we was always well in control of the game. So yeah. Raf says, we did not concede against the informed side in Europe right now. I am happy with our performance, and that's it. Again, this was a game of more. I wanted to see more of a performance than the result, because the result ultimately didn't matter too much, but the performance had to be there, and it's one of the few occasions where we could have, you was hoping that the performance was going to be there, but we was actually able to cash it in at the end of the day. Phil says, quietly impressed, some sloppy periods, but was hard-fought one. It was a hard-fought one. The Napoli goal being disallowed seemed to spark the game into life. Núñez causing chaos when he came on. Let's hope some of these positives translate to the weekend. Who knows with us this season? And that's it, innit? That's the $1 million question. What Liverpool will turn up against Spurs? Is it going to be the Liverpool that's beaten Napoli and beaten City in recent weeks? Or is it going to be the Liverpool side that lost back-to-back stinkers against Leeds and Nottingham Forest? Who knows? It's so hard to predict right now. But the more that we get results like this, surely the more confidence has got to start to feed back into these lads. Like, we know that we're not as bad as Nottingham Forest and Leeds. We know that is not going to be our consistent form over the season. Can we drag out the consistent form that turns you into, potential champions of a cup or a good enough team that go on to get a run to get into the qualifiers for the Champions League? Whatever it might be, Liverpool have just got to find that level consistently over the course of 10 to 15 games from now till, I'd say, obviously March, April time, before you can really judge to see what Liverpool team have shown up more often than not this season. Harry Parkinson says, it's so Liverpool to beat Man City, the best team in England, lose to Nottingham Forest and Leeds, two of the worst teams in England, and then beat the most informed team in Europe, all in back-to-back games. Yeah, madness. Almost as mad as Darwin. We are like a box of frogs at the moment. Jay says, like night and day compared to Leeds, although not the most high-pressure game we've played all season. Núñez is bonkers, and I am here for it. He's only going to get better, so bring on Spurs. Hashtag LFC. Yeah, absolutely. A couple of these comments then, guys, before we wrap up the show. Make sure you stay tuned. Redmen TV have got you boxed, as always, with your post-match content, because in about 10-15 minutes, Steve will be headed over to that infamous board over there to go through your player ratings. So make sure you stick around, help him out, get some comments in the comment section, leave some scores and some player ratings. Let us know who your man of the match was as well, and he will read out some of the best comments in that show. And then after that, we will then be diving straight into our instant match reaction for all of you Redmen Plus members, so you will be able to get the instant match reaction live as it comes out live with us. You can sit with us and leave some of your comments in the Discord as well, and I'm sure Steve will get round to reading some of those out. And don't get me wrong, there's still content being pumped out from the ground. I know the lads and girls are over there posting post-match content outside Anfield tonight. So yeah, as always, Redmen got you boxed. We've got Veronica. Oh no, Hitch and Baz says, happy with the win, happy with the clean sheet. Can we take that through to the weekend, please? We are a great team and we can beat anyone. Well done, Mo. Champions League top scorer. Yeah, again, Mo Salah gets another goal under his belt. I think it was a bit of a... He was blown hot and cold for me tonight, Mo Salah. I think some of his touches at times let him down. I think a couple of the balls that he played had the right intention, but probably didn't have the right delivery. But in front of goal, he didn't have many chances, and he was just feeding off scraps in the end. But he's there, jolly on the spot when it matters most, to help kick the ball over the line from a corner after Virgil van... no, it wasn't even Virgil van Dijk, it was Núñez. Yeah, we thought it was Virgil van Dijk, but it was Núñez that gets the header on that as well. So, in the end, he gets the goal, and that for his tally will do him the world of good. I think he'll probably settle for Champions League top scorer if Liverpool can go on a good run this season. So massive achievement for him. So keep that up, Mo, because we need you to take that form into the weekend as well. Stuart Armstrong says, the most Liverpool thing to do, comfortably beat the most informed team in the Champions League after getting trunched by relegation fodder. Canate calms the defence right down. An absolutely brilliant performance. Yeah, I had a lot of people shouting that out on my Twitter earlier, saying Canate, E-boot is the difference maker. Absolutely behemoth of a man. And it's great to see, when we've been able to bring him back. I think that defensive line looked a lot more stable. They looked more combative, and they actually looked up for it. I think, from a defensive standpoint, I think he was pretty on point tonight. So yeah, happy with that. Melanie Young says, would have loved the three lads on slightly earlier. I've read that one, so sorry. It's Crossbow with the £1.79 super chat says, Núñez showing the media he's not a flop. Absolutely love it. Kenneth Williams says, thought it was a good game tonight, kept the clean sheet as well, which was good. The boys were professional tonight, and let's hope we can kick on and enjoy Sunday. Christopher says, well done. Reds were really patient in the turnover, which was key. The team seems to be bonding again. Yeah, the team's body language seemed a lot better tonight. Definitely agree with that. Nick in advance says, thank you for the comments as well. I appreciate you sharing some of your thoughts. Might be easy to say, but with that, that we had nothing riding on the game, but it has to be said that a team that is struggling with consistency, we need to take the positives where we can. I absolutely 100% agree with that. Definitely take the positives out of this game, and that's why I was looking forward to this game, if I'm honest, because I knew it would be a welcome distraction. I knew the shackles would be off and the lads could just kind of go for it. The only pressure was the pressure that they was going to put on themselves, but they put enough pressure on to remain professional and put in a good performance. I think that's really important. We have to start somewhere, and that'll do nicely, is what Nick follows up with. Dickie Oi Red says, confidence boost for the lads. Fab looked good, if not back to his best. Curtis played well. Ibu was immense. Thiago and Millie do their jobs. Overall pleasing performance from the Reds, and Ramsey actually exists. Yeah, he's not a hologram, and that's actually really reassuring to see. But yeah, confidence boost. I think Curtis Jones had good moments today. I think he surprised me. He was a bit of a surprise package. He probably offered more on that left-hand side than I thought he was capable of, and I'm glad that he was able to do that with his performance tonight. Fab looked good. I don't know if he's anywhere near his best, but he did look good. The formation definitely helped. Yes, fight for the wins from the first to the last whistle. 100% agree with that as well. I think that was something that was really crucial in tonight's performance. The fact that we was really up for the battle, and not getting outfought and not getting outrun by teams has been a problem for Liverpool this season, and tonight was one of those performances for me where we proved that we can go toe to toe. James Lim says, we look solid today. Ibu played well and looked good with him, and we look good with him in there. Threat from set pieces as well. Robbo, Nunes and Henderson in for Costas, Jones, Bobby and Milner against Spurs. Fab looked good. Dickie O'Reilly says, averages to poor has been our problem. Give the team props for fighting, regardless of the opposition or the stakes. Yeah, you've got to give props where props are due. And James finally comes back and says, Thiago ran the midfield and Calvin Ramsey looked good in his little cameo. Thiago is key, was the final comment there. Yeah, it was nice to see some of those young lads getting a bit of a game time. Potentially would have been nice to see them get a little bit more, but this is probably just them building up to the League Cup game. I think that's against Derby. So yeah, that's probably just leading up to that, and that's probably when we'll see probably wholesale changes in the Liverpool side when we come up against them in the League Cup in a couple of days, or just over a week's time. I think it's next Tuesday maybe. So you just have to keep your eyes peeled for that. There's still quite a few games to go before we break up for the World Cup. But yeah, Liverpool have safely navigated their way out of the group stages. We already knew that, but we finished second overall on 15 points. We beat Napoli, got a little bit of professional pride back, and a little bit of revenge. It was a good performance, and the result was there as well, and Alisson was able to keep a clean sheet. So all round, happy Reds, happy lads, happy fan base, and you will catch up with us again soon, because we've still got plenty of post-match content, and I will speak to you all again. Take care. Bye-bye.
Get closer to Liverpool Football Club and the magnificent city of Liverpool over on Redmen Plus, our Liverpool streaming service. Documentaries, features, more content from the Redmen studio, and you can learn deep and in-depth knowledge from experts, journalists, and cultural features going to get you close to the football club that we all love. Head to redmenplus.com.